"Oh God, no," Jordan whispered, her voice breaking as she peeled back the towel. The infant's eyes, wide and stormy gray, locked onto hers, and in that instant, something primal ignited in her chest, a fierce, unyielding protectiveness that drowned out the thunder. She scooped the child up, pressing her close, the warmth of that fragile body seeping through her drenched hoodie like a promise she never knew she needed. Jordan had come to Spain on a whim, a gap-year escape from the suffocating suburbs of Sacramento, where her parents' divorce had left her bouncing between houses like a pinball in a machine that no longer worked. At 17, she was all sharp edges and unspoken aches, a lesbian kid who'd learned to hide her crushes behind sarcasm and spray paint, tagging abandoned warehouses with murals of defiant women warriors. Seville was supposed to be her reset, sun-soaked plazas, flamenco rhythms pulsing through her veins, a chance to figure out who she was without the weight of American expectations. But 3 weeks in, she'd blown her savings on a sketchy youth hostel and a one-way ticket to nowhere, scraping by on odd jobs like washing dishes at a tapas bar or sketching portraits for tourists in the Alcazar Gardens. The baby girl, she could tell now, with a shock of dark fuzz on her head, clung to Jordan's shirt with surprising strength, her cries softening to whimpers as the warmth took hold. Jordan rocked her instinctively, humming a fractured lullaby her abuela used to sing, the one about stars falling into the Guadalquivir River. "Shh, Mija, I've got you," she murmured, scanning the alley for any sign of the mother. Nothing but puddles reflecting the neon glow of a distant bodega sign. Panic clawed at her throat. Cops. Social services. She was just a kid herself, undocumented dreams and a fake ID that wouldn't fool a priest. She bolted, basket under one arm, baby swaddled against her chest, toward the only safe harbor she knew, the tiny apartment above the bookstore where her roommate, Elena, worked days and dreamed nights of becoming a poet. Elena was a local, 22 and world-weary, with tattoos of Lorca's verses snaking up her arms. She'd taken pity on Jordan when she arrived, wide-eyed and jet-lagged, offering the couch in exchange for help minding the shop. But Elena was out tonight, performing at some underground poetry slam, leaving Jordan to face this alone. The stairs creaked under her weight as she burst through the door, dripping rivers onto the tiled floor. The apartment smelled of jasmine tea and old paperbacks, a sanctuary cluttered with mismatched furniture and fairy lights strung like captured fireflies. Jordan laid the baby on the sagging velvet couch, grabbing a clean dish towel to dry her off. Up close, the little one was a miracle of imperfections, rosebud mouth, lashes like whispered secrets, a faint birthmark on her heel shaped like a crescent moon. No note, no clue, just a silver bracelet around one tiny wrist, engraved with a single initial, M. Jordan's phone buzzed in her pocket, a lifeline she almost ignored. It was a text from her mom back home, "Miss you, kiddo. Call soon." She typed back a quick all good, "Love you," then stared at the screen until it blurred. How could she explain this? A foundling in her arms, in a foreign country, when she could barely explain herself. Downstairs, the bookstore's bell tinkled, and footsteps echoed up. Jordan froze, but the voice that called out was soft, accented with the lilt of someone who'd grown up between worlds. "Jordan. You here? The rain's biblical out there." It was Maisie. God, Maisie. The girl who'd wandered into the shop 2 weeks ago, all freckles and quiet fire, browsing the English lit section like she was mining for gold. British American, she'd said, her parents expats in Madrid who'd shipped her off to Seville for cultural immersion after a messy high school breakup. 17 like Jordan, but with an ease that came from old money whispers, cashmere sweaters under denim jackets, a laugh that tasted like summer wine. They'd bonded over shared playlists of Phoebe Bridgers and Hosier, late-night talks on the rooftop about the ache of loving girls who didn't love back. Maisie had confided first, the ex who'd called her confused, the family that pretended not to notice. Jordan had spilled about her first kiss, stolen behind the bleachers at a homecoming game, and the fallout that followed. Now, Maisie appeared in the doorway, shaking rain from her auburn hair, green eyes widening at the scene. "Bloody hell, Jordan, what's... Is that a baby?" Jordan's laugh was half sob. "Found her in the alley. Abandoned. I couldn't just leave her. Maisie crossed the room in 3 strides, kneeling beside the couch. Her fingers brushed the baby's cheek, tentative, then sure. She's freezing. Let me get a blanket, there's one in my bag. She rummaged through her messenger satchel, pulling out a soft knit throw scented with lavender. As she draped it over the infant, their hands met, lingering a beat too long. Electricity, Jordan thought, like the storm outside had followed them in. They spent the night like that, huddled on the floor with the baby between them, feeding her makeshift bottles of warmed goat's milk from the kitchen. Maisie told stories to distract, tales of her grand's Cornish cottage, where ghosts whispered secrets to the sea. Jordan sketched them in the margins of a notebook, Maisie's profile sharp against the lamplight, the baby's tiny hand curled like a question mark. By dawn, the rain had eased to a drizzle, and exhaustion pulled them under, heads touching on the couch, the world reduced to 3 heartbeats in sync. Elena found them like that when she stumbled in at noon, hungover and humming. Her gasp shattered the peace. Madre de Dios, Jordan, what have you done? It's not, Jordan started, but Elena was already on her phone, dialing the authorities. We have to report this. You can't just keep a child like a stray cat. Maisie stirred, her voice steady. She's right, but... Look at her. She's ours now, in a way. Until they come. The social worker arrived by evening, a stern woman named Carmen with a clipboard and eyes like polished obsidian. She examined the baby efficiently, noting the bracelet, the lack of any identifying marks. We'll run prints, check missing persons. For now, she stays with you too, temporary foster, given your circumstances. She glanced at their joined hands, unreadable. But be careful. These things have a way of unraveling. Jordan named her Luna that night, after the birthmark and the way her cries echoed the moon's pole. Maisie traced the crescent with a fingertip, her breath warm on Jordan's ear. Luna Ruiz. Sounds like poetry. In the days that followed, their lives bent around the tiny center. Jordan quit the tapas bar to care for her full-time, sketching commissions online to make ends meet, portraits of flamenco dancers with Luna's eyes. Maisie, on a whim from her parents' endless allowance, started a GoFundMe, Seville's Little Moon, Help Us Shine. It went viral in expat circles, donations trickling in like rain after drought. They took Luna to the parks along the river, pushing her second-hand pram under orange trees heavy with fruit, stealing kisses when no one watched, soft, tentative presses of lips that tasted of olives and hope. But shadows gathered. Late one night, as thunder rumbled again, a knock echoed through the apartment. Not the bell downstairs, but insistent, like fate at the door. Jordan opened it to find a man in a tailored suit, rain beating on his umbrella like tears. Señorita Ruiz. My name is Victor Hale. I'm here about the child. His accent was crisp, American, laced with boardroom polish. Behind him, a sleek black car idled, headlights cutting the gloom. Jordan's stomach twisted. Who are you? He stepped inside, uninvited, eyes scanning the room until they landed on Luna, asleep in her bassinet. A flicker, regret. Recognition, crossed his face. That bracelet. It's hers. The initial stands for my wife, Margot. Luna is our daughter. Abandoned by her mother in a moment of desperation. We've been searching since the night she vanished. Maisie's hand found Jordan's, squeezing hard. That's impossible. Why would she leave her like that? Victor's jaw tightened. Margot struggles, with addiction, with the life we lead. She thought the baby would be better off without us. But she's changed. We want her back. The room spun. Jordan pulled away, crossing to Luna, shielding her like a shield. She's safe here. With us. You can't just. We can, Victor said softly, almost kindly. Custody laws favor blood. But I'll give you time. A week. Meet me at the cathedral tomorrow, we'll talk terms. He left a card, embossed with gold, Heir Enterprises, a name that hummed with power. Jordan crumpled it, but the weight lingered. That night, as they lay awake, Maisie's tears soaked the pillow. What if they take her? What if this was all borrowed time? Jordan held her close, their breaths mingling. Then we fight. For her. For us. The Seville Cathedral loomed like a stone giant under the midday sun, its spires piercing the sky as if demanding answers from God. Jordan and Maisie arrived early, Luna strapped to Jordan's chest in a woven sling, her gurgles of fragile armor against the dread coiling in their guts. Tourists milled about the Giralda Tower, snapping selfies oblivious to the drama unfolding in the shadows of the orange trees. Victor Heir waited on a bench, impeccable in linen slacks and a silk tie loosened just enough to feign approachability. Beside him sat a woman, Margot, Jordan assumed, pale and ethereal, her blonde hair pulled into a severe chignon, eyes hollowed by ghosts only she could see. "You're punctual," Victor said, rising with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Good. This doesn't have to be adversarial." Margot's gaze fixed on Luna, a tremor in her hands as she reached out, then withdrew. "She's grown," she whispered, voice like cracked porcelain. I didn't think she'd be so beautiful." Jordan's grip tightened on the sling. "You left her in a storm. In a basket. Like trash." Margot flinched, tears spilling. "I was lost. The drugs, they made me believe I was poison. Victor found me in a clinic in Lisbon, pulled me back from the edge. We're clean now. Ready." Maisie stepped forward, her voice a blade wrapped in velvet. "Ready for what?" "A life of nannies and private jets." "Luna's not accessory. She's a person." Victor's laugh was low, indulgent. "Charming. But you're children yourselves. What can you offer?" "Stability. A fortune like ours ensures that, and more. Education, security. She's the heir, you see. My company's worth billions. This isn't just about love, it's legacy." The word hung heavy, a revelation that sucked the air from Jordan's lungs. Heir. Billionaire. It explained the bracelet's gleam, the unyielding confidence. Luna, their scrappy little moon, born to marble floors and merger meetings. Jordan's mind reeled, visions of trust funds clashing with the image of Luna's first toothless grin, shared over instant noodles. "We'll sign whatever," Margot pleaded. "Papers relinquishing rights, if you want. But let us be part of her life. Please." They talked for hours, the cathedral bells tolling like a countdown. Victor offered concessions, monthly visits, a trust fund in Luna's name that Jordan and Maisie could co-manage. Maisie pushed back, her expat poise cracking into raw fury. "This isn't a negotiation. It's her life. Yours almost ended it." By dusk, they had a fragile truce, 2 weeks extension, with supervised handoffs. Victor's driver dropped them at the apartment, the leather seats smelling of leather and loss. Inside, Elena waited with takeout paella and a bottle of Rioja, her poet's heart sensing the storm. "Tell me," she urged, pouring glasses. "All of it." Over wine and lamplight, the story spilled, abandonment, discovery, now this twist of fate. Elena listened, then pulled out her laptop. "Heir Enterprises. Let me see." Her fingers flew, unearthing articles, Victor Heir, tech mogul turned philanthropist, scandals hushed with NDAs. Margot's overdose hushed up as exhaustion. A pattern of control, of buying silence. "He's not telling everything," Elena said, eyes narrowing. "Dig deeper." That night, as Luna slept, Jordan and Maisie tangled on the couch, seeking solace in each other's skin, fingers tracing collarbones, breath sinking in the dark. No urgency, just the slow burn of certainty, lips meeting in whispers of stay and fight. Maisie's mouth was soft against her neck, a promise etched in freckles. "I love you," she murmured, the words slipping out like sunlight through shutters. Jordan froze, then melted, replying with a kiss that tasted of forever. You too. God, you too. Dawn brought a package at the door, a velvet box from Victor, containing a diamond necklace for Luna, a family heirloom, the note read. Jordan recoiled, but Maisie slipped it on the baby's wrist beside the silver bracelet, a talisman of duality. They ventured out, pram wheels rattling over bridges, stealing moments in hidden patios where bougainvillea bloomed riotous pink. Tourists cooed at Luna, oblivious to the undercurrent, the way Jordan's hand lingered on Maisie's waist, possessive and proud. But cracks formed. Maisie's phone buzzed incessantly, her parents, summoned by Victor's network, demanding she return to Madrid. This is reckless, Maisie. Playing house with a stranger's child? Come home. She deleted the texts, but doubt seeded. Jordan noticed, the way her laughs grew forced, her sketches turning angular, all thorns and no blooms. The betrayal came on the 10th day, under a sky bruised purple. They'd taken Luna to the Alcazar, labyrinthine gardens whispering secrets through fountains. Jordan sketched Maisie feeding the baby pureed figs, the scene a watercolor dream. But as they wandered deeper, voices drifted from behind a pomegranate hedge, Maisie's, sharp and pleading. I can't, Mom. It's not that simple. Jordan froze, heart plummeting. She peered through the leaves, Maisie on the phone, face crumpling. Yes, Victor called. Offered to handle things. Pay for my tuition, a flat in London. If I convince Jordan to let go quietly. The world tilted. Jordan stumbled back, pram bumping a stone urn. Luna fushed, but the noise was drowned by the roar in her ears. Maisie turned, eyes widening in horror. Jordan, wait. She ran, weaving through topiaries, chest heaving with sobs she couldn't release. How could she? After the nights they'd mapped constellations on each other's skin, after vowing to build a life from scraps. The silver bracelet glinted mockingly as Luna reached for her. Maisie caught up at the exit, breathless. It wasn't, I didn't agree. I told them no. Jordan, please. Liar, Jordan spat, voice venom. You took his money once already, didn't you? The GoFundMe, funneling it to your tuition fund. Maisie's face drained. That was before. I sent it back. I swear. Save it. Jordan thrust the pram forward. Take her to them. You're good at deals. She fled into the streets, the cathedral's shadow swallowing her whole. Hours blurred, tapas bars where she nursed a sangria alone, alleys echoing her footsteps. By nightfall, she returned to the apartment, stealing for emptiness. But Maisie was there, curled on the floor, Luna asleep in her lap. I wired the money back. Every cent. And I told Victor we're done talking. It's you or nothing. Jordan sank beside her, the fight leaching out. Why didn't you tell me? Fear, Maisie whispered. Of losing you both. But I choose this, us, every time. They cried then, a deluge that washed the poison clean. Elena arrived with ice cream and intervention, forcing truths into the open. Love isn't clean, she said. It's messy, like poetry. You write through it. The extension ended in confrontation. Victor and Margot met them at a neutral cafe overlooking the river, the air thick with unsaid accusations. Margot's hands shook as she held Luna, a ghost of a smile breaking through. She's happy here. I see it. Victor leaned forward, voice steel. Sign the papers. Or we go to court. Blood wins, always. But Margot surprised them, sliding the documents back and signed. No. She stays. With love, not legacy. Victor's face twisted, betrayal mirroring Jordan's own. Margot. Enough. She stood, placing Luna in Jordan's arms. We're done buying her. Chaos erupted, Victor's calls to lawyers, threats of scandal. Paparazzi swarmed by morning, headlines screaming Billionaire's secret heir found in Spain. The apartment became a fortress, Elena barricading the door with books. Maisie went live on the GoFundMe, voice steady, "This isn't about money. It's about family, the one we choose." Donations surged, but so did the pressure. Victor's team unearthed dirt, Jordan's undocumented status, Maisie's erratic history. Whispers of deportation, custody battles. One night, as sirens wailed outside, Jordan packed a bag. "We run. To Portugal, maybe. Start over." Maisie nodded, but her eyes held shadows. "And if they find us? Then we fight harder." The road to Cadiz unspooled like a ribbon of salt and sun, the Atlantic crashing against cliffs as if applauding their escape. Jordan drove the borrowed Fiat, Elena's parting gift, keys pressed into her palm with a fierce hug and a poem scribbled on a napkin, "Flee, but carry the fire." Luna babbled in the back, secured in a car seat funded by strangers' kindness, while Maisie navigated via a cracked phone screen, her hand resting on Jordan's thigh, an anchor in the storm. They'd slipped out at midnight, Seville's lights fading in the rearview like a dream deferred. Victor's fury had escalated, private investigators tailing them, emails laced with legal venom. Margot, in a twist of redemption, had gone rogue, leaking documents to a journalist friend, exposing Heir Enterprises' underbelly of tax havens and silenced affairs. The media frenzy peaked with Forbes, the heir who chose heart over fortune. Public opinion swung, painting Jordan and Maisie as folk heroes, caped in denim and determination. But freedom tasted bittersweet. In roadside motels with peeling wallpaper, they'd hold Luna between them, singing off-key renditions of Hallelujah to soothe her colic. Maisie's betrayal lingered like a bruise, flaring in quiet moments, accusatory silences over shared cigarettes, Jordan's sketches now etched with Maisie's face, half angel, half serpent. "Do you regret it?" Jordan asked one dawn, watching the sea swallow the horizon. Maisie turned, green eyes raw. "Every day I wake without you." "Yeah. But this, us, her, it's the only truth I've got." Cadiz welcomed them with whitewashed walls and the tang of fried churros, a coastal haven where expats vanished into the crowd. They rented a fisherman's cottage by the beach, turquoise door creaking open to salt air and seashell wind chimes. Jordan found work illustrating children's books for a local publisher, her murals evolving to include fierce girls with crescent moons on their heels. Maisie, ever the connector, started a community playgroup, tiny humans in a circle, stories weaving bonds stronger than blood. Word traveled, though. A month in, a letter arrived, postmarked Madrid, Margot's handwriting, elegant and trembling. "I'm sorry, for the pain, for the privilege that blinded me. Victor's crumbling, the board ousted him. Luna's fortune is hers, but only if she claims it. Use it for good, or burn it. I choose to let go." Enclosed, legal papers, irrevocable. Guardianship granted to Jordan Ruiz and Maisie Harlow, co-parents in the eyes of Spanish law. Tears blurred the ink as they read it aloud, Luna gnawing on a wooden spoon nearby. "We're official." Maisie laughed, a sound like bells over waves. Jordan pulled her close, foreheads touching. "Family. Real ones." The high tide of joy crested, but drama's undertow pulled. Victor, unmoored, descended in a rented yacht, docking at the marina like a villain from a telenovela. He cornered them on the promenade, salt wind whipping his once perfect hair. "This ends now. She's mine, my blood, my empire." Passers-by paused, phones out, sensing spectacle. Maisie stepped forward, chin lifted. "Empire? You mean the one built on lies?" "Margot told us everything, the affairs, the cover-ups. Luna deserves better." Victor's eyes darted, calculating. "Money talks. I can make you disappear." Jordan's voice was thunder. "Try it. We've got the world watching now." He lunged, not for violence, but desperation, grabbing for Luna in her stroller. Maisie shoved him back, a cry escaping as he stumbled into the surf, trousers soaked, dignity drowned. Bystanders surged, separating them, sirens wailed soon after. Victor was arrested for assault, his yacht impounded, the final nail in his unraveling legacy. In the aftermath, as waves lapped the shore, Jordan and Maisie sat on the sand, Luna building castles with driftwood hands. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of forgiveness. "We made it," Maisie said, lacing fingers with Jordan's. "Not without scars." Jordan traced the faint line on Maisie's palm, a paper cut from signing the guardianship forms. "But yeah. We did." Months blurred into a rhythm of salt-kissed mornings, Luna's first steps on the beach, tottering between them like a pledge. Jordan's art bloomed, galleries in Barcelona clamoring for her heirloom series, portraits of chosen kin. Maisie penned a memoir, Moon over Andalusia, proceeds funding a shelter for abandoned mothers, a quiet revolution against the cycles that birth Luna. Betrayal's echo faded, transmuted into deeper trust. On Luna's first birthday, under a canopy of stars, they exchanged rings, simple silver bands engraved with crescents, vowing not just love, but partnership, in the face of fortunes won and lost. Friends gathered, Elena, now a published poet, toasting with Sherry, Margot, tentative and transformed, her presence a bridge, not a break. As the Guadalquivir's distant song carried on the breeze, Jordan realized the truth: fortune wasn't silver bracelets or billions in vaults. It was this, the girl with auburn hair laughing at a toddler's splash, the tiny hand tugging her toward tomorrow. In Spain's embrace, far from Sacramento's ghosts, they'd forged a legacy of heartbeats, unbreakable. And in the quiet hours, when Luna slept and the sea whispered absolutions, Jordan would pull Maisie close, their love a lighthouse against the dark, enduring, unyielding, profoundly human.